Hey, welcome back. Again, my name is Dr. Chris Bourne. I'm the Director of Immersive Learning here at WPU University. So I want to give you a little bit of an outline. I talked a little bit about the Center for Immersive Learning, and we'll circle back to that. But I want to talk more about the immersive learning programming going on here throughout the entire curriculum. The immersive learning, the aspect of immersive learning, it is the first pillar of the new strategic plan. And the idea is that this new model, this new way of educating students and have students collaborating and working together, working with faculty, that it does permeate the entire curriculum. That this is not just a one-off, this is not just a capstone course, it's not just happening in one or two courses, but that it is happening across the entire curriculum in the majors and the liberal arts courses and the humanities courses and in all of the courses and embraced by all of the faculty. And the faculty have embraced this idea. And they have been able to really come up with some fantastic ideas, fantastic projects, and fantastic collaboration. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Just to give you a definition or just an outline of what immersive learning is. Immersive learning, it describes a transformational experience connecting the classroom with the world. Students grow intellectually through mentorship, collaboration, reflection, and learning by doing. And this idea of learning by doing, if you think back and learn, how did you figure out how to ride a bike? Was it someone lecturing to you and saying, well, you put your hands on the handlebars and then you pedal? It's like, no, you learn these things by doing these things. And so we want to make sure that we incorporate that aspect into the way that we teach and the way that students experience these subject matters. And so really it's trying to bridge that gap between what goes on in the classroom and then testing and developing the proficiencies and competencies that students need to be problem solvers, to be creative thinkers, to be global citizens, future leaders, and effective collaborators. Because that's what will develop, that's the jobs of tomorrow, require those skills and those proficiencies and competencies. And so we want to make sure that our students are prepared. And so we incorporate this approach to learning, into the fabric of WPU University by reimagining the curriculum and the way we teach to produce the graduates who are leaders engaged with the world. So we do this, it's happening in the classroom and beyond. It's happening in the community, partnering with government, collaborating with top businesses, connecting with nonprofits, and really it's across the globe with our faculty. So I'm just gonna run through a couple examples of each one of these. So in the classroom and beyond, we had two of our professors, Roger Crispin and Carolyn Nye, took students up to New York. This was a class, it was the economics of the immigrant experience. And so in order to really understand the immigrant experience, students went up to Ellis Island and to a tenement house museum and toured New York. And Professor Crispin, who had lived up there for a long time, was able to really get these students immersed in understanding how does immigration impact the economics of the United States. And so it's not just by sitting in the classroom and reading about this, but it's by going out and on site. And immersive learning, what it does is the funding behind immersive learning, it allows the professors to come up with these ideas and come up with these projects and these classes. And so the Center for Immersive Learning will get them there. So for these classes, but not only that, up in New York, while there, the students took over the William Peace University social media campaign, and they were actually producing the content. And so some of his communication students were actually producing content. And so again, it is using the skills that they will need to be successful in their future careers. So it was a really exciting trip. So in the community. So looking out in the community, it's not just sitting in the classroom, but we want to make sure that we are benefiting the community where we reside, our immediate neighbors around us. And so what we do is students in the archaeology program or in anthropology, there's an archaeological field school. Some of you may have been out to these sites. And so Dr. Malomo, and Xandra Daniels, they take students out to these sites, again, getting some hands-on, learning by doing, getting hands-on experience, being able to test their skills. And then the most important thing is by that feedback loop of understanding, okay, what skills do I have? What skills do I need to develop in order to be successful in the future? Okay. Partnering with government. We sit in the capital of Raleigh, and so we have a lot of opportunities to partner with government. And so in just one example, and using the Crabtree Creek Basin, so in testing pH levels and contaminants. And so Dr. Bonner, I know, takes students and works with students on testing the contaminant levels and the pH levels of water. And again, it's taking students out into the field. It's not just studying theoretical, but it's out going and collecting specimens. And when you do that, all of these opportunities arise, and students are able to then go, when they go out on graduate school applications, or they go out to graduate school interviews, or they go to interviews at a workplace, they can say, yes, I did do this. Yes, I did collect specimens. Yes, I did run tests. Yes, I did collaborate with a team. And here's proof that I did that. And so that's crucial for our students to be able to point to these specific activities in the classes on how they're applying their skills, and not just sitting back, receiving information in a passive way. We want them doing these activities, so doing the learning. Another wonderful situation with William Peace University is that we sit in the research triangle. And so we have this incredible opportunity to partner and collaborate with top businesses. These students here actually won the Sir Walter Raleigh Award for Excellence in Communication in partnering with Alumni Draft House and working on the launch of their local establishment. So they were having a new Alumni Draft House opening up in the region, the first one. And so these students were actually given a project to work with them and actually present back to them and work on their social media launch. And so they were able to take these theories that they're learning in class, apply them in a real world situation. And this is without a net. This is not just a class project. This is not just, they're working with a real client. And so these students are then able to go back when they go out on interviews for marketing or for in graduate school. It says like, yes, I worked with a client, I presented to a client, I took their feedback, we tweaked it. Students work with a leadership triangle, Dr. Gaylor and the leadership program. And so these, the mentors through Leadership Triangle actually come to campus. We've partnered with Ace Hardware, Fleet Feet, Wake Med, SAS, especially during a summer camp for high schoolers even. So we're even like moving down into the high school area where our high school students were coming to campus, and SAS was actually walking them through. We've sent students out to the SAS campus to go through training programs there. And so it's an incredible opportunity to be partnering with these top businesses in the triangle. So also connecting with nonprofits. So it's not just about the capitalism, but it's also, we want to make sure that we're improving the world around us. And so engaging students and getting students involved with nonprofits. And so we've been able to develop relationships with all these wonderful nonprofits to when they partner with us and we work on projects together. Stefan Youngblood, the director of When Grace Happens, there's an incredible project with Dr. Otis, who's the head of the history program, where students, we actually, instead of going out into the community, we invited some homeless men to come to campus, and they actually were experts. They were experts. They were the teachers for the day. We had a dinner each week, and these men would come and share their experiences with students. And that was a transformative experience, not just for the students, but for Dr. Otis and for the men themselves who were experiencing homelessness. And so it gave them an opportunity to be a teacher, and the value that they should. And the students responded incredibly well, and actually went on projects and developed the project in building a library at the YMCA shelter for women and children. And so these are experiences that cannot be replicated in the classroom. And so we need to make sure that we're connecting with the world and connecting with nonprofits, and providing an opportunity to be leaders in the world. Also across the globe with WPU faculty. And so across the globe, we have taken students to all of these countries over the last 5 years or so. And this is with William Peace University faculty. This is not just us sending students to another university, hoping they learn something. And so Professor Chrisman in communications actually taking students to Mexico on spring break this year, and they are working on a documentary film. And so he has been following this this is the third generation of this family in a little town in Mexico, and 6 students are going with him, and they're working on the documentary over spring break this year. And in simulation and game design, people have gone to the Far East, to Japan. Justin Johnson have taken students there. So we have trips to Greece and trips to Italy and to Hungary. And again, these are with William Peace University faculty. And so we're able to make those connections with our classes, our students, and tailor these experiences to make sure that these students are getting and hitting the learning objectives that they need. So it's an incredible opportunity. And so how does it work? Well, immersive learning bridges the gap between the classroom through these case studies, through scenario-based work, or project-based corporate partnerships, on-site learning, and taking students to the field. In exercise and sports science, there's almost weekly field trips. So where Dr. Lang takes students out of the classroom and takes them out to the North Carolina football club, or takes them to the Durham Bulls. And it's incredible for these students to be able to talk with professionals in these fields and understand what does it take to be successful and how can I develop those skills. Expert cooperation. We had an expert from Red Hat come and talk to students. We had an incredible experience with Drum Team Collective and talking about collaboration and leadership. The image here is we had two students presenting research at the National Conference of Undergraduate Research. That was at Kennesaw State University in Atlanta. This year, we have five students that are presenting at Montana State University, presenting their research. And so it's by partnering, it's by mentoring and developing, doing their own research, their own work, and doing the internships and future partnerships, and students being able to present those internships through the internship showcase and through the spring showcase, presenting all the research that they have been doing. So that is what immersive learning is. It's bridging this gap in between the classroom and through this other work to develop the skills and competencies that students need to be successful in either graduate school or their professional careers. So the great thing about the Center for Immersive Learning is what it does is it helps fund these great immersive learning ideas proposed by the faculty. And so instead of having all of the onus of preparation, logistics, financing on the shoulders of the faculty, we want to free our faculty up to come up with the great ideas and do what they do best, and that's interact with the students. And so the Center for Immersive Learning has been supported by the Board of Trustees and the President and the rest of the administration, and has been given money to enable to fund these kinds of experiences, to be able to fund the transportation, to be able to fund the trips to New York or the trips locally, or to bring experts in on campus and provide stipends for those experts. So by being able to have the funding and have the logistics owned by the Center for Immersive Learning, faculty can come up with some incredible ideas in getting their students to interact and really engage with their subject matter. And so we also here at the Center for Immersive Learning collaborate with faculty in seeking out top echelon partners. And so if a faculty member comes like, I don't know anyone in this particular space, but can you help me find someone to partner with? So again, the Center for Immersive Learning it collaborates with faculty in seeking, finding, and identifying those partners and reaching out to those partners. And also we get partners that come to us and say, hey, we would like to work with you in some way. And so the Center for Immersive Learning, what it does is it then finds particular faculty in particular projects and hooks these partners with faculty together. For example, the Philanthropy Journal. The Philanthropy Journal we had a meeting and just talked about some ideas of, okay, how could students, what kind of projects are out there? And Marty McGuire in communication is actually, her students are actually working on a project in connection with the Philanthropy Journal. So it's those kinds of things that really, by having a Center for Immersive Learning, it serves as a touch point for these partnerships. And also integrating the community into the fabric of the university. We want to make sure that we are not just some island, some university island. We want to make sure that we work with the people around us. And so it's great now to have a Center for Immersive Learning to really to be a beacon for companies and nonprofits and government to say, okay, that's who I need to talk to because I want to collaborate with William Peach University and the great students there. So now we also have, I showed you a little bit of the space, and so we also have the Center for Immersive Learning. And the Center for Immersive Learning is the gem. And we have had such great usage of this space from students using this space to be doing their homework and collaborating. The Center for Student Success is housed also in this space. And so all of the tutoring that goes on happens out here in the open. So tutors, they grab a sign of like what they're tutoring, they come out, it destigmatizes tutoring. It's not as if they have to go to this entirely different place. They come here, there's open hours where students can just drop in, work with a tutor on a particular project. The rolling whiteboards are constantly in use here in the collaboratory itself. All the walls are writable. We have some of the athletic teams have study halls in the space. Student organizations use the space to have their meetings. There's study rooms and different kinds of study rooms. Some are a little bit more casual with a couch and comfortable chairs. Others are set up more for like, we have one study room set up for Skype interviews. And so students would be able to, if they are interviewing for a job, be able to reserve or use that space, that study space to conduct a particular interview. We also have a number of fixed computers in the space, but we also have a technology lending library, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So, but the wonderful design of this space, as you can see, it allows for multiple ways of working. And so there's an active learning space in the collaboratory. There's a flexible setup. There's not only one way that the space can be set up. We let the students determine how the space should be set up. And so it's owned by the students to meet their needs. We have rolling video carts where students can plug in their laptops, work on a project together, or even if they want to play games, they can plug their devices into the rolling carts and play games or socialize. And so it's a collision space. It's a place to collaborate. We also have with the study rooms, our group study rooms, and then we have more individualized study rooms. We have advanced robust technology, with the technology lending library to practice the skills that people learn, and the space for external partners to come and work with us and work with our students. So here we have another use of this space. And so you can see that that classroom wall is actually a retractable wall. And so we have the faculty working on a workshop on inclusive learning. And so it's a great space for us to use, not just for teaching that happens. There's a number of classes throughout the day, but once 3:30 hits, it opens up for meetings, and then in the evening, students use it. We've had external partners use the space as well, and again, working with our students in this space. The technology lending library, I'm very proud of that. And so not only do we check out Chromebooks, so students can come by and check out a Chromebook at any time, but we also have iPads with drawing software on there, with CAD software, with Adobe, the Adobe suite on there, with other tools in comm and design. We have a podcast set that we let communication use. We have a VR headset. We have 360-degree cameras. We have GoPros. We have even just chargers. That if someone needs a charger, and we're adding to that, we're adding gaming laptops and cameras that people can check out in order so they can do their work. So the technology lending library has been highly used, and will continue to be used. And as we find out needs, we'll be continuing to add of what is in that technology lending library. There's power throughout, the movable walls. There's a partition that can separate that space, the classroom space, into a larger space and a smaller space that's entirely whiteboard. And there's a service desk for students if they need help. It is staffed by graduate student assistants and also by student workers. And we have, again, I mentioned the rolling TV carts and a wide variety of different seating and different configurations. So it's an incredible space. It's a destination space, and so far it has been highly used, which is fantastic. And so really just immersive learning, it's invested faculty designing transformative student experiences is what it is. And so we have incredible faculty here, full-time faculty, even our part-time faculty. We talk about and we train with immersive learning techniques. And so really it's in order to achieve those aspects of deep learning to where students are learning this. It's not just sitting back receptively, passively receiving information, trying to cram for a midterm or trying to cram for a final, writing it all out and then forgetting it. That what immersive learning does is it achieves the deep learning where students, by learning by doing and learning by collaborating and learning by engaging in their fields of study, is really when we get this kind of transformative education. Lives are changed. Students are encountering the world and learning from it. And they're applying the learning in the real time. And so it's this approach to learning that we feel, and evidence shows, produces creative thinking, produces collaboration skills, produces problem solving. And so these are all skills. And the great thing about it is that students have artifacts. They're building out artifacts and a portfolio so they can point to graduate schools or future employers, say things like, yes, I have done that, and let me show you what I did do in this particular class, and they can tell that story. So we're really, really proud of the immersive learning, the Center for Immersive Learning, and how immersive learning has been permeating the entire curriculum and really changing the DNA of the university, the way that we teach. So what can you do? How can you help? Because this is not just about our current students, but it's also about our former students and our alumni. We have we no longer have a career center. It is now, or career services, it is now the Career Design Center. And so even incorporating immersive learning and design thinking into the new Career Design Center, it can help alumni. And so alumni are welcome to come back and use that Career Design Center, again, to enhance their skills, identify their competencies and proficiencies, and where they may need some help. So that's one thing. Is like it involves our alumni as well. But we need you to spread the word. We need local and regional companies. We need more and more partnerships, families, students, high schools we need them to know that we're implementing this distinctive approach to education, and that we are out there. And so the second part is like using your own network, or maybe even yourself, to find partners for potential academic businesses or community partners. We're always looking for ways to bring the world into the classroom, and we invite our alumni to come back and work with us on projects with our students. And as we continue to move forward, we want to invite students back, and actually you can come back to the Center for Immersive Learning and work here. It's a great workspace. If you need a space where you need to do some work, there's Wi-Fi, there's printers, there's whiteboard spaces. And so alumni are very welcome to come back and work with us and work in the space. And then finally, inform us on how your WPU education contributed to your success, including the skills and the proficiencies developed. And what skills are you finding that you wish you had, that you've needed to develop on your own? And so by talking with our alumni and talking with business leaders and community leaders, we can reverse engineer some of the things that we do in our programs to say, it's like, okay, we need our students to be able to demonstrate creative thinking. Okay, how are we incorporating that into our curriculum, into our immersive learning activities? So that's where we could really use your help. Partnerships at Peace is a great way to get in touch with me. That goes right to me and a couple of other people on campus. But I really want to thank you for your time and participating in this event. and really still being a part of William Peace University is crucial, that we continue to stay engaged with our alumni, because they really embody all the values and skills that we try to incorporate into our educational model and into our current students. With that, I thank you for your time and have a great weekend.